the issue of Boko Haram. It started way back before. The genocide started from Ottoman Danfodio. Ottoman Danfodio brought that genocide against the Hausa people when he entered. Even though some of the Hausa people were already Muslim, he believed that they are not Muslim enough, and he came after them and he was butchering them until he was able to conquer them and plant his own people in every way. So when we talk about this genocide that is happening, some people will begin to narrow it down from Boko Haram. It started way back before the Boko Haram. Way back before. And I'm going to try to play a video that was made by a member of Christian Association of Nigeria, who is an eyewitness. This is an eyewitness account. You are going to listen to what he has to say. An eyewitness account is not they say this is somebody who witnessed the genocide firsthand before the issue of the Boko Haram they're talking about. Boko Haram is just of yesterday. You see, that's why Nigeria is so evil that when there is danger, they try to make it look as if it is simple. It is much more serious than you can ever imagine. The genocide against Christians did not start from Boko Haram. Some of us that are speaking, we have lived in the north. I, my own self, I have lived in the north for more than 7 good years. I lived in the north. And I can give a testimony of what it feels like to be a Christian in the north. But I'm going to play a video of an interview of somebody, a member of Christian Association of Nigeria, that spoke about what the Christians in the north have been facing. You know, when we talk about it, it's always delimited to Boko Haram, but this thing started even before Boko Haram. The attack against Christians, the attack against the indigenous people started from Ottoman Danfodio. Ottoman Danfodio was the person that waged the first war against the indigenous people, the indigenous Hausas. Exterminated them, took a lot of life. The only place you could not be able to conquer is Borno, and up to this moment, they are still fighting to take over Borno. That is why Borno is the epicenter of the Boko Haram today. Some of us don't. You see, Nigeria is evil. The only thing that has to be done to save life is to end this thing once and for all, and everybody go their separate ways. If you don't end it, it will end up ending everybody. If you do not end this genocide, it will end everybody. I want you to listen to this very video before we proceed. Let us
of Khan. I'm going to put the same question to you. When you hear the term or the allegation of Christian genocide from the United States, President Trump, Ted Cruz, etc., what were your thoughts? And indeed, do you agree with them?
Because you are running out of time, I will save you and just go to the basic. One, I've listened to the other speakers. I've listened to the arguments they bring. I am not speaking from research or whatever. I'm speaking as a victim. I'm speaking as the pastor who buried the almost 2,000 people in 2000 in Kaduna. Quote me, my name is Reverend Hayab. I'm speaking as the pastor who also did the mass burial of the over 300 people of the Miss World Beauty pageant on the 23rd of November 2002. I'm also the pastor who came out publicly to denounce the Danish cartoon in 2006, but it later leads to the death of Christians in Maiduguri and death of...
This man is giving account of Christian genocide all the way from 2002. From 2002 till this time, how many years? From 2002 to today, how many years do we have? You know, when they are talking, people will say 10 years ago, they will say 5 years ago, they will be talking from Boko Haram. This man, this is an eyewitness account. This is a pastor who have lost congregations, lost members, lost church, lost family members in this issue of Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. The account he's given now is all the way from 2002. But surprisingly today, you will still see some people who claim to be Christians in Nigeria, and they will come and tell you there is nothing like genocide. One of the idiots that called himself a pastor came out and said, it will seem as if when you are going on the road, your head will be off. And I said that man should go to Borno and preach on the street. Go to Sokoto State, take your megaphone and preach. The clown is either in Abuja or Lagos. And he can't even preach in the street. In his castle where he has security guarding him. Listen to the account of this man. Let's listen to the account of this pastor. And you will realize that what we are talking about is not something that started. This genocide started way before the issue of Boko Haram. I want you to pay attention.
As the pastor who buried the almost 2,000 people in 2000 in Kaduna, quote me, my name is Reverend Hayab. I'm speaking as the pastor who also did the mass burial of the over 300 people of the Miss World Beauty pageant on the 23rd of November 2002. I'm also the pastor who came out publicly to denounce the Danish cartoon in 2006, but it later leads to the death of Christians in Maiduguri and death of Christians in Bauchi. So I have been around and I think I know this story. Listening, we are coining it into the politics of America as if we are not in Nigeria. And someone is saying that athletic was used. Sincerely speaking, there has been killings of Christians in northern Nigeria before even the advent of Boko Haram. I was in Kanu. I just left Kanu with 1 week, and the killing of the visit of Reabonke happened. People were caught. You know, it's a different thing that you are shot to death. It's something else that you are caught to pieces, caught by the neck, caught hacked to death. I saw these cops. I had to run back. My pastor asked me, why did you come back? I said, no, I just left for Kaduna 1 week, and then I heard what happened to my people in places in Kano. I just came back. So it is something that has...
Sorry, sir, if I may interrupt you. What year are we talking about?
I'm taking you back.
Okay.
To tell you that I was available when the Bonke crisis happened in Kano. I was also there, not only there, but buried the mass people that were buried in 2000. I also buried the mass people that were buried in 2000. Then fast forward to 2006, I said I was the pastor who...
Did you hear that? All the way from 2000 to this time, it is 25 good years. 25 good years of Christian genocide. 25 good years. 25 good years. But you see, the idiotic media in Nigeria, the criminal media, and the criminal pastors that call themselves whatever they call themselves, they deny this fact. So many of us have lived in the north and we are eyewitness to these things. We see it, we feel it. This is a pastor, an eyewitness who has buried mass members, 1,000, 200, 500. He was there. From 2002, we are in 2025. 25 good years. From 2000. From year 2000 to 25 good years of persecution of Christians. Mass killing. And many of these things are not reported. Their media will never report it. They will never talk about it. Listen to the testimony of the pastor. Listen.
Came out to condemn the Danish cartoon because I knew what was going to follow. But despite that effort, Christians were killed in Maiduguri, Christians were killed in Bauchi for an offense they had no problem about. They knew nothing about. If I just move backward, what happened in 2002, many Christians in northern Nigeria, including Kaduna, don't even know the lady who wrote the article. But they ended up having their churches burned. They ended up having their pastors killed. They ended up having, precisely the Sunday before that violence, I had a guest preacher in my church, Reverend Nee preached in my church at Rahama English Baptist Church. You can Google it. I remember when you could Google that. And just a day after that, that man was burnt. His corpse was like that of a small baby. So when you put together all this, in Maiduguri in 2009, when Boko Haram started, they were never attacking Muslims. They actually went for the church because they said we are infidel.
The same way they attacked us, our people, they attacked Biafrans simply because we were celebrating the victory of Donald Trump. Simply because we were celebrating the victory of Donald Trump, Nigerian military opened fire. So when you see this genocide, it is not just the terrorists. The government is complicit in it. They are joining them. The same thing the Boko Haram are doing. That is what Nigerian government is doing. in Biafra land. In the case of Biafra land, it is almost impossible for them to penetrate. They can't penetrate because of our territory. They can't penetrate. The military themselves are the ones in uniform recruiting them, conducting the same genocide in Biafra land. The exact thing they are doing, the Boko Haram is doing in the northern part of Nigeria. That is what Nigerian military by themselves are doing in Biafra land, burning houses, taking innocent life. That is what they do in Biafra land. Up to this moment as we speak, it is still ongoing. In Okigwe, in Olu, they have gone to the extent of now recruiting our fellow Biafrans, and they call them Igbo people recruited and call them security outfit. Ibubago. When the Ibubago was formed, you saw the entire Southeast protest and say they do not want Ibubago. Were they removed? Were they removed? The same way the whole country protested against NSAS. Was NSAS removed? SARS were not removed. They only rename and change their name. In the case of Ibubago remains up to today. And their assignment is to go after Biafran people that are asking for self-determination. That has been their assignment. Taking innocent life. People that are asking for a genuine right. Self-determination is not, it is a right, not a privilege. It is a right, not a privilege. And they continue to massacre us in Biafra land. The same thing they are doing in the north, the government itself is helping out to do it in Biafra land. And it is time, I thank Chukwuka that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu pinpointed that, and in his letter that he wrote to Trump, he can go and investigate. They should send an investigating team, of which I know they have the fact already. They have the fact already, but they are waiting for you and I to act. That is why we must not get distracted at this point in time. We must not. It doesn't matter what happens. We must not. Get focused and continue to point out on these very facts and figures. Listen to the pastor.
One among the early pastors that was killed was Pastor Oji. Pastor Oji was killed. When he saw he was going to die, he simply said, "Go and tell my brothers I die well." Pastor Osonibon was also Sylvester Osonibon, because I traveled with the corpse to Ekot Ipene, and then Pastor Yakubu Bitrus, whose brother was then the medical director of the General Hospital in Maiduguri. So I got involved in these things more than the here story. The Christian North have suffered killing. These Christian North have suffered so much in this thing that today culminates into genocide, as it has been called. So for anybody to say it does not exist and is bringing story of Boko Haram or recent happenings of bandits may not understand, because I followed the conversation.
Did you hear that? That this genocide we're talking about is much more older than the Boko Haram issue. Boko Haram only came on board when the government itself have legitimized them, allowing Sharia in some northern states. The Boko Haram boldly come out and begin to lead. But this genocide has been happening way before Boko Haram came into the picture. As far back as year 2000, this man is giving account. Thousands of Christians were murdered in cold blood, which he himself actively was there on the burial, conducted the burial. We are talking about eyewitness account. Not they say, who say, and who say. No. This man is an eyewitness account, live in the media, speaking.
Nobody is saying that the Christian North was just killed in 2002 or they were just killed in 2019. There has been a history. There has been certain pattern. There has been certain developments. But let me come back to the last 6 years. I am this same pastor who came out severally on this medium and other medium to cry when I was bearing 30, 20, 40, and many other numbers. And why were those people killed? The story they always want to tell is that no, it is a farmer's herders. I'm above 56. I know the difference between a farmer's and herders conflict, and I know the difference between someone coming to exterminate or eliminate a certain group of people. Because farmers, as we knew, simply had little misunderstanding with herders, and the herders will come either to the police station or to the traditional ruler or community leader, and such issue will be discussed, and they will now ask for reconciliation and possibly ask for little payment of damages. But we have a situation where innocent women are sleeping in their sleep with their children, with their husband, and people will come to their community, chant religious slogans, said their houses are blessed, shoot them and cut off their necks, and do not stop there, also burnt their religious places. And you still want me to say, no, it is just a communal clash, because that's the kind of, farmers had that clashes. And that's why today we are hiding under those things to argue about that. I looked at the issue of statistics and I just wonder, if you sit there, just Google, you will see in the Wikipedia, the number of churches that document is giving you that the churches in Nigeria are just 16,000 something. And
you see, that is one of the evil in that Nigeria. They manipulate numbers. I have said it time and time again. There is no statistics that is correct in Nigeria, including the population of Nigeria. The number is fake. Nigeria does not have the accurate number of their citizens. Their population census is false. The number they operate today, when they tell you that the northern part of Nigeria, which is a desert, is more populated than the savannah region, it is a lie. There is no part of the world where the savannah is low populated. There is no part of the world where the desert is more populated with human beings than the savannah region where there is life. It is not happening anywhere, only in Nigeria. And this very fake figure was being planted by the British. They didn't stop at up to today. They are still parading face figures. They will tell you that Christians are less populated than the Muslims. They will tell you that social region, you have only 3 churches and 2 churches. Fake figures. You can never see any correct figure. In all the numbers Nigerians are parading, they are all fake. And they push these information out there. Listen to this pastor. Listen to this pastor on what he has to say about these numbers. Listen. Google. You will see in the Wikipedia the number of churches that document is giving you that the churches in Nigeria are just 16,000 something. And you and I know that is not true. I am a pastor of the Baptist Church. The Nigerian Baptist Convention, just Nigerian Baptist Convention, we have over 11,200 registered churches. We never bring Redeem into it. You never bring Anglican into it. No Catholic into it. No Methodist into it. No Living Faith into it. So some documents and figures that we have been seeing are quite interesting, but just tell us that there is even to us a conspiracy of silence or a conspiracy of twisting a situation. Absolutely.
I see what is happening and as an opportunity for us to stop the killing of our fellow citizens just because of their identity.
You see, this man's message is loaded. These are the kind of informations that need to be out there. When we are talking about this genocide, it is not just, it didn't start yesterday. And when the most evil that we have in Nigeria is their media. Nigerian media is so evil, and they are the real problem. They are the major orchestrator of terrorism. Every media house is supposed to be charged for terrorism because they are the one promoting it. They make things look simple. They push different narrative. Look at terrorists attacking homes. They will tell you that it is farmer-header clashes. They will give you fake numbers. Thousands with dead. They will tell you it's only 5. They will tell you it's only 6. In some cases, they will not even report at all. They will not report it. There have been so many instances that they never. Just recently, they have stopped reporting anything that has to do with herdsmen. They stopped reporting it. Does it mean they have stopped the attack? The attack continued. Even as of yesterday, they attacked again. Even yesterday, there was an attack. But you can never see it anywhere. You can only hear it from people on social media providing evidence, video evidence to confirm these issues. It is so sad. It is so sad. And you see them today. Instead of congratulating Donald Trump for taking that strong move, they are busy attacking right and center. The worst is people who call themselves Christian joining to attack Donald Trump. That is the highest, that is the worst of the worst. There are evidences everywhere. Even global watchdog like Open Doors International and Christians Solidarity Worldwide have confirmed the genocide campaign against Christians in Nigeria. But the Nigerian regime respond not with justice, but with propaganda. As always, they always respond with propaganda. Instead of arresting killers, they arrest those who speak the truth. Today, many people who are bringing these informations out are speaking out, they are being threatened. Many of them are being arrested because they spoke the truth. Instead of defending victim, they defend their image. Instead of defending the victims that are losing their life on a daily basis, citizens, they defend their own image. Yet, the blood of the innocent has one message for every one of them. The blood of the innocent has one message for Nigerian government. Vengeance belongs to the Almighty. But justice begins with resistance. Vengeance belongs to the Almighty, but justice begins with resistance. That is our message. Wherever you are, we must not be silent. We must resist this tyrannic government by all means necessary. Biafra is the only remedy. When we present Biafra as a remedy, it is not a joke. It is not out of envy. It is not out of selfishness. It is to save humanity in that contraption called Nigeria. To save every indigenous tribe, both the Yoruba, the Hausa, the Efik, the Ijo, every tribe, the Middle Belt. It is to save them. Once Biafra got their independence, every other region will be free and safe and secure. This is a call to save life, a call for humanity. The Biafran struggle is not about tribe. The Biafran struggle is not about tribe. It is about the truth. It is about the truth. It is not about revenge. It is about redemption. It is not about separation. It is about survival. As Nigeria crumbles under the weight of its own corruption, Biafra stands as a divine idea. And we say it and say it again. It is a remedy to the failed state called Nigeria. And the international community should pay attention. They should pay attention. Biafra is a remedy. A nation where freedom, justice, and truth shall reign again. The sit at home is a reminder to the world that Biafra have not surrendered. We may be silenced, but we are not broken. We may be persecuted, but we are not defeated. Every Monday, the land speaks. We will rise again. We will be free. We are Biafrans. Don't you ever give up. It does not matter what you see. It doesn't matter what you hear. The persecution will come. Don't you ever give up. Remember the definition of Biafra given by our eternal leader, Dim Onomogojuku. A place where the oppressed people run into for safety. That was the definition our eternal leader gave to Biafra. A place where the oppressed people run into for safety. To every Biafran across the world, from London to Lagos, from Houston to Holland, the fire is back. The movement is alive. We must not relent. Wherever you are on the planet Earth, Asia, Europe, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, any part of Africa, Biafra land, or even in Nigeria, speak out. Share the truth, defend the victims, and keep the sit-at-home spirit pure and purposeful. Keep the sit-at-home spirit pure and purposeful. Do not use violence. We have to use unity. That is what we have to use. Do not use violence. Use unity. Do not spread fear. Spread awareness. Spread awareness, not fear. So many of us are busy spreading fear here and there. So many of us are very good to spread fear. What you spread is awareness, not fear. That is what we're supposed to be doing. Do not lose faith. Do not think that nobody's hearing you. Don't think that nobody's watching. I bet you the world is watching and they are listening. They are hearing us. The world is listening. And we thank Chukwu Okakaba that a man who will not be silent is now in power. And I bet you, you are going to wake up and you hear the sound of victory. You will wake up one day and you will hear the sound of victory. That is why we must not lose our guard. We must not be distracted. Continue to speak on your platform. Continue to share the program. When you come across the platform, share the program. You never can tell who will get his hand on what we are saying. You never can tell who will get his hand on the information we are passing here. You never can tell. Because Nigerian government is trying to cage every information, make sure that people don't hear. But those of us who have succeeded in going out, we bring those information in our little platform, in our own little way. No matter how small your platform is, push the information there. You never can tell who will come across it. Just do your own part and allow Chukwu to come and do his work. Let us remind humanity. Silence in the face of genocide is complicity. Silence in the face of genocide is complicity. We must remind humanity. A lot is happening, and we cannot continue to keep silent. It is much, much, much more painful when you see people who this crime is committed against joining the enemy to attack us. You see some other people from other regions, they are busy attacking their own self. The indigenous people, you see, you go to some platform, their own topic is Igbo. Go to some platform, their own topic is Igbo. Some of our Yoruba brothers and sisters, their topic is Igbo. Some of them, they forgot that we are facing the same challenge. Even their own case is much more serious. Their own case is much more serious that the Janjaweed is moving with force to take over their land. Already they have taken a Ilorin. They have taken a Ilorin. They have succeeded even introducing that's their kind of religion to Yoruba land. Yorubas are fighting for survival today. But some of them are not concerned about that. Go to their platform. They are busy pampering the Janjaweed and they are talking about the people that are fighting for their own safety and security. I am going to share a video with you where Fela's song was making some sense, calling on the Yorubas and telling the Janjaweed to leave their territory. It is important. When we see certain videos, we play for the world.
Why does Ilorin have emir? If you Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, if Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilorin to Islam?
He is talking about some of them in Yoruba land that claim to be innocent. You see them, they channel their energy on the Biafran. And more especially, these people are the other religions in Yoruba. They channel their energy against the Christians. And more especially, channel their energy against the Igbos. Meanwhile, in their home, it is being taken over. You see them today. The Tunubu boys in Asorok. You see them. So many of them were Christians and they decided to shift the other way around in order to be able to ferry themselves because of their belly. And they are the people. This guy is calling out here. I want you to hear his message he has for them. You know, many of our Yoruba brothers and sisters are also watching our program. Some of them, they join us in our program. So when the issues come out, we share it. It is about to save life, the indigenous people. We are not fighting a selfish cause. That is why when I see them sometimes, they devote their time. They forget about the real enemy that is holding every one of us captive. They forget about it and they focus on fighting against the Igbos. What a shame. Listen to this guy, what he has to say.
Why is Ilori a Muslim? Why does Ilori have emir? If you Yoruba Muslims are so innocent. If Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilori to Islam, to the Islamists? Why is there an emir in it? Okay, it is long ago. Oh yeah, give us Ilori back. If it is long ago, remove your emir from Ilori. Why is the emir still in Ilori? Don't you know that Ilori is Yoruba land? Why is your emir still there? Can you remove your emir from Ilori, please? After you Southwest 2 times, you try to exterminate us. We defeated you in battle. You are not using our victory against you that subdued you. You Yoruba traitors that went with Afonja and the Muslims. Do you want me to tell you your stories, Yoruba Muslims? Do you want to know your story? That you are the ones that went with fought behind Afonja with the Muslims to try and destroy Yoruba land on behalf.
Did you see? Exactly the same game Fulanis are playing in Biafra land. The same game the Fulanis played against the Hausas is the same thing they are doing up to today. And for one reason or the other, there will always be people who will fall into that trap. They are not using any new strategy. When they conquered the Hausas, they recruited the Hausas. Ottoman Danfodio recruited the Hausas, preached to them, and told them lies against their leaders. Turned the Hausas against them. It was the Hausas that defeated themselves and handed themselves over to the Fulanis. They came to Yoruba land, the same thing was there. And today, they are in Biafra land. It is what they are doing. They recruit our own brothers. Call them the Bubag. Call them security outfit. Give them gun. They use Asare Dokubo. Asare Dokubo went to prison, broke prison, released people from prison, and handed over to Asare Dokubo to train. And they told him to come and guide security in Biafra land. A non-state actor. Asare Dokubo, we don't know when he registered the security outfit. Asare Dokubo, we didn't hear where he went for military training. Asare Dokubo was only a criminal in the past. A militant, that is what he is. The training Asare Dokubo had is a terrorist training. He's one of the people who were taken to an Islamic country to go and train as a terrorist. And all of a sudden he came. They gave him power to take charge of Biafra land in name of security. And today, look at how Biafra land have become. Using our own people against us. The Asare Dokubo himself is also an Igbo man. He's an Igbo man, undeniably. That same system they use against Hausa, they use it in Yoruba land. And today, they are succeeding. Look at what Hopu Zerema is doing. Look at what they're using Hopu Zerema to do. Destroying Olu, destroying Okibe. Look at Soludo. Using Soludo, using Dakodo to destroy the whole youth in Anambra State, breaking their legs. Where did you see that kind of a thing in a civilized country? In 21st century. In 21st century, that you capture somebody without taking the person to court, you cripple the person and take his life. In 21st century. And it is happening in Biafra land and nobody said anything. They do it and they video it, they share it on video, how they cripple innocent people. And even if they committed a crime, is there no law court anymore? All these were introduced by the Fulani. We saw when the chief terrorist in Nigeria, Shegumi came on national TV and advised the southeast governors they should recruit their youth to fight against the self-determination movement. And that's what they did. They gave them money, they pumped money to them, and today it is chaos everywhere. That same system is what they're applying. So when we are talking about the cancer in the zoological republic is this danger weed, and the only way to cut that cancer is to disintegrate Nigeria. Disintegration is the only way to cut. You don't treat cancer, you don't treat cancer, you don't treat it. If you treat it, you cut it out. If you want it to be safe, cut it out. The only way to cut out that cancer is Biafra. That is why Biafra is the only remedy. Cut it out. As soon as Biafra gets their independence through a referendum, Odudua, the Yoruba people will go. The Yoruba Republic, the Yoruba Democratic Republic will go their separate ways. The Middle Belt will be on their own. And the Caliph, Arewa, will also build a caliphate. Every region will protect themselves. You will have a country according to value system. And this chaos will die natural death. It will end next to not the deodorant of it. Even the move of Donald Trump, even though we applaud it, we love it, but it will not end the problem. It's not going to end it. After decimating them, you go, the next day they come back. Look at what is happening now in Afghanistan. After spending resources and human life and all that, they go back to where they're coming from. So the best thing is to disintegrate this very country. Allow those people who enjoy that system or the caliphate to build it. Let them enjoy it. Allow them to enjoy their caliphate. Then people who like the secular system should take it on the secular system. Those that like the monarchical system should go on the monarchical system. Simple. Why must you continue to force people against their will to be together?
Of Islam and northerners that you all gather here today, or Muslims who gather around and be saying we want to remove ourselves from northern, and when you are the people that brought Islam into our lives, try to steal everything we have for the northerners, you Yoruba Muslims. Why are Yoruba Muslims not like the northern Muslims? Because you kicked your ass. We beat the living daylight out of you. We beat you very well. That till today, Eli misbehave. We beat you very well. That's why Yoruba Muslims cannot misbehave. They understand what it means to try and fear. That's why you don't do anything. Don't act like you are better than the northern Muslims. They're not better. You just don't have the clout. You don't have the power. You don't have the numbers.
That is the truth.
To play that your game here.
That is the truth.
So Yoruba Muslims, be quiet while I'm talking to your northern brothers. You are the same as them. Go to Ilorin and see the way you behave there. Go to Ilorin, they cut his back, but they just cut you straight. Say because you have Afro. Why will you have Afro? Islam is a problem. You have to address it. Anyway, let me read from the Quran. You know, so not from the Quran, but translations. Let me read translations from the Quran. You know.
This guy is making a very great point. Very, very great point. That if we continue to go on and on, this issue of pretense, people pretending that there's nothing, and that is why the problem is growing. Today, some people in Nigeria, why they are angry with Donald Trump is because he called the name of the perpetrators of this crime. And there was a video I watched when somebody was saying, they said that IPOB are terrorists. And now, Donald Trump from the United States is coming out to take out the terrorists. The IPOB core terrorists are happy and they welcome Donald Trump to come. But those of you now who claim that you are not, you are innocent, you are the one that is afraid. What does that tell? You said that we are the terrorists. And now the United States say, I am coming to take out the terrorists. We say we are welcome, we welcome them. But you now that claim to be innocent, you are the one that is scared. You are the one that is scared. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? How do you explain that? There are so many things that are not adding up in the zoo, and we will continue to point them out one after the other. It is not time to lose our guard on anything. We must speak and say things the way they are. Call them out when we need to call them out. Mention them when we want to mention them. We must not be silent. We must not be silent. Look at the move that Donald Trump is making to safeguard people and secure them. And they turned it around. They said that Donald Trump wants to invade Nigeria. In the speech of Donald Trump, there is nothing that looks like invasion. There's nothing like lose an invasion. He never mentioned invasion. But in their media in Nigeria, they twist the word. Today, they change the narrative in their media. Only some brave people are able to confront them and tell them to their face what you are doing is wrong. And I thank God that there are still some people.
Not threatening an invasion. Don't let's kid ourselves. There are multiple evidence of Nigeria going around cap in hand. We've become essentially in the hands of our rulers a beggar nation. The same country that went to stabilize Sierra Leone, stabilized Liberia, is the same one that cannot fight a ragtag army of Fulani extremists and Islamist jihadists simply because persons within his government and his military have compromised his territorial integrity and discounted the safety of his citizens. That is why it has taken a Trump to be breathing the riot act and be telling us that if we won't do it, he will come do it. Let's focus on the fact that we have these problems. Let's leave the fact that we don't like the language of Donald Trump. Let's forget all these attempts at beating up nationalistic fervors. It makes no difference to the dying man in the Benue Trough and in the plateau who comes to save him. You have reported cases such as Yelawata, where you have a military forward operating base less than a kilometer from Yelawata. Instead of engaging with those who killed over 200 Nigerians, they were busy shooting in the air. And then you want that person to bicker about whether it's Americans who came to save him. It is a function of the serial failure of the Nigerian state that we are even having this kind of conversation in the first place. But I am not interested in the nationalistic propaganda that has been coming out in response to Donald Trump's incendiary language. If we will tidy up our homes, if we will do the right thing, a Donald Trump rant will count for nothing. At the end of the day, Nigeria is not Somalia. It's not some small homogeneous community where you can come. There are more nuances to our issues than the black and white that Donald Trump would like to paint it. But the reality is that the irresponsibility of the Nigerian government is what has led to a situation. Our situation might be likened to that of an irresponsible father who has allowed his home to fall into disrepair, his children to left them to serial abuse, and then a neighbor who happens to be more responsible, however garrulous you might call him, however much you might deprecate his method, he recognizes the humanity of the children that the father has left irresponsibly to be slaughtered. The man went to he went to Benue almost a week after the massacre. He couldn't even be bothered to go to Yelawata. What did he say? Oh, the road was bad, but he could have a party in Makurdi. Please, if that is what it takes, if it will take a madman to speak to our irresponsible rulers, so be it. Or has he lied? And he hasn't threatened the invasion. He said, go and do it or I will do it. Why can't they focus on doing it instead of focusing on I will do it if you don't do it? It was irresponsible for the Americans to talk about gun blazing. But how many times have we gone to ask them to come and help us? And then they can see that we are irresponsible and complicit in the mess we are asking help for. Please, I'm not focusing on Trump's language. I'm focusing on the failure of our own government and the serial failure of the Nigerian state.
Well then, Mr. Farotimi,
It's interesting. Sometimes we bring all these half-truth tellers. Even Dele Farotimi, even though he makes sense, it is also half-truth. You see, in his statement, he always try to swipe and be careful. We understand he's in the zoo. He's in the zoo, and you know they have taken him several times. So he's mindful of the word he uses. And that is what Nigeria makes. Once you are in Nigeria, you must have to take your brain and throw it to the dustbin for you to survive. One of the things you must do for you to survive in Nigeria is to take your brain and throw it to the dustbin and begin to think like an idiot. That is the only way you can survive. That is the only way you can make sense. But when you begin to speak like a human being that you are, they will see you as somebody who's not making sense and they will come after you. They will come after you. It is so sad what we see. And the most painful is those who call themselves Christians. They join in this madness. The Christians. They join in this madness. It is unbelievable.
It's not Christians that are really being killed. That is both Christians and Muslims. How many Muslims? My friend was kidnapped by these people. Listen, my friend was kidnapped by these people. And they requested for 5 million. And people ran around to put the 5 million together and gave to them. They still shot him in the head and killed him. A young father of 2 children. But you know what they normally do? They gather people together. They locate all the Muslims in their midst. And usually, most times, 90% of those who say they are Muslims among the people they kidnap, they set them free. And they shoot the Christians in the head. Butcher them, kill them. If they are pregnant women, they remove the babies from their womb. Then somebody who wants political relevance, somebody who is looking for appointment, comes out to say nothing is happening to the Christians in Nigeria. It's not a genocide. And he says, I am a Christian. And we think that we are all together. We are not all together.
We are not.
You have to have a stand. In quote, the number one nation of the world says, the leader of the number one nation of the world says that Nigeria is a disgraced country. Listen to me. Is it now the disgrace started? Pastor, why are you talking like this? I want you to take that mandate more seriously. Trump has come to say that Nigeria is a disgraced nation. I'm very embarrassed by that statement that Nigeria is a disgraced nation. But that's the truth. You know, many of us don't like the truth. We don't like hearing the truth. And I've heard different people react in different ways. The question is, some of the reactions that have been coming forth, I'm going to make another point now. Some of the reactions that have been coming forth, when I listen to them, it appears like I don't understand English anymore. A man is standing out to say that he wants to defend the Christians in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I still hear English very well. He did not say he wants to invade Nigeria.
I wonder.
He said the level of killing of Christians in Nigeria is unbearable. And if our leadership does not do anything about it, they will take action. What else is he supposed to say? So if you are against that, it means you are in support of the killing of Christians in Nigeria. Period. There are no two interpretations to that. If you are against what I have just said now, it means you are in support of the killing of Christians in Nigeria. Somebody said if America tries it and invades Nigeria, he will make sure that all the American army that come here will die. Do you think they will come here with gun? Or do you think that America is still using MK-47? Have you ever watched the weapons they carry? Have you ever seen any in the past 10 years? Have you ever seen MK-47 in their weapon? The MK-47 that is panicking Nigerian army and whatever here. They have left that level since. And some people say, okay, they are coming because of our minerals. Do we have more oil well than America? Why am I saying this? I want you to have a stand. Now, this is the point I'm trying to make. I know that when certain person they watch this online, they will say, Pastor, is this what we should be discussing in church? Yes, this is what we should be discussing in church. I am not a part of those who don't know what is right and what is wrong. I am not a part of those who will keep quiet when the church is being burnt. I'm not a part of those who will keep quiet. Even if you are 1 million or one person here, I will act as a child of God. I am not pastoring aliens. I am not pastoring juju people. I am pastoring Christians. And it has been confirmed that there's genocide in Nigeria and people are trying to cover it and beat around the bush. This has been happening for over 15 years. At least 10 years. Who are the people pushing this? The frontline people who push this thing that there's no genocide. Everything is okay with the church in Nigeria.
Christians.
In quotes, supposed Christians are brothers and sisters. If somebody says something now that this government is very useless, this government is not good, and tomorrow the same person is saying that the government is perfect, it's a fruit that you need to look at. The Bible says that we should take heed what we hear. Another translation says we should take heed how we hear. Whether it is Muslims or it is Christians that are being killed, the fact is that human beings are being killed. And we know that this thing is targeted at Christians. And those of us who are Christians, if we keep quiet, then we are siding and aligning with the forces of darkness. I like you to know that it took people to raise this matter up before it got to Donald Trump. So when we keep quiet, our silence becomes a conspiracy. Do you know how many Christians have been killed in this country? Is it because they hide these things? If you are a member of this church, don't say we should not be informed, we should not speak about it. We have to. It concerns us, it concerns the body of Christ. How will you speak? Are you going to go to NTA? No. In your own little way, in your own little space, align in support of the church. What was the reason why many of our people refused to support Donald Trump? Don't forget, I don't say he's a practicing Christian. I don't know his faith personally. But I know what he stands for, his policies. And most of the friends that I have, when I talk to them, they always talk about papers, green card, papers, green card.
That is the only problem.
Of America. If a devil is there, that America, you will run out of it.
That is the raw truth. It is a fact, undeniable fact. And whenever we see this, we'll bring it. Many people who are Christians. I saw the video that was made by Adeboye. Adeboye was not even bold enough. He wasn't even bold enough to speak about the issue. He was dancing right, left, and center, advising an advice he has been given for years that doesn't make any sense. Even when he had a vice president as his own boy, he couldn't do anything. I saw the video he made, his speech at W made yesterday. In his speech, he couldn't be able to be bold and stand and protect Christianity. The same Christianity that have made him a billionaire. The same Christianity that gave him fame. But when he was just managing, he was being political in his statement. Being political in his statement. Those are the people who are complicit to the genocide against the Biafrans, against the Christians. And God is going to ask them questions when the time comes. God is going to ask them. Let us hear the message that Mbaka had for the politicians.
The Spirit of God can appraise what is happening in Nigeria. If there are people that should be in prison, all our past leaders should be gathered and be imprisoned. Not these Biafran boys. They should not touch any of these Biafran boys. These hungry Igbo boys and girls who are yearning for their rights. You now put them in the prison. If they are not careful, as I speak as a man of God, as God lives, their dynasty will not last. Because they never know that there is a heaven. There's a life after this. Look at how they have merchandised the priestly, prophetic, pastoral anointing. Can men of God speak in Nigeria anymore?
No, they cannot.
When anointing is already merchandised. How much shall we pay you and you keep quiet? And they are busy buying people in authority with anointing. And our children are suffering. If we people with under anointing will not speak for this less privilege, God will curse us. Because there is a heaven. Jesus says, fear not those who can kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Fear only he who can kill the body and kill and destroy the soul. Fear him. And that person is God. There is God. Nigerian leaders should understand the God factor. There is God, the Adonai. There is God, the Elohim. There is God, the El Shaddai. When I was talking about the deceptive malodorous concept, deceptive malodorous shadow called EFCC, how can you imagine a country like this? The best country in the world with the best weather, with the best manpower, people who are rugged, who can do any business. It's only in Nigeria you can find young men who can carry a dead body and wash without covering their nose and whatever. Our youths are ready to do anything to survive. But look at our so-called leaders. All their children are abroad, schooling abroad. Any little malaria, they will fly out to treat themselves. Their wives will be doing midwifery medication, antenatal. Somebody will be pregnant in Nigeria, going for antenatal in London with our money. And you are watching the person. There's no problem if they will use their money. The problem is, it is your money they are using. So if you go for your money, you are not a revolutionist. You are demanding your right. That should not deserve one bullet to touch you. Even the police, by now, should join the youths and not be shooting them. Things have gone wrong. The center cannot hold anymore. Things are falling apart.